Fish for some hand sanitizer right in my own kitchen. Man, who needs to pay exorbitant prices for it when you can just find it in anywhere? What are the odds? Thank you, makeshift fishing rod with dental floss. And I didn't really fish for it, did I? Hmm. Beautiful brew. And no, that doesn't mean I'm having a beer right now. It's Monday, and I think I need a break from it. I'm talking about nice brew tea. And what better to brew tea than to brew tea in a Pink Floyd mug? One of my all-time favorite bands. Delicious. And rejuvenating, too. Like, this flavor I got is pretty good, if a little strange. It's one of those Tetley herbal tea packets I kind of seen at the grocery store. This one's advertised as a super herbal tea, and they advertise it as being immune because it has zinc, lemon, echinacea. Like that, if you knew common cold tea at David's Tea, no, not common cold tea, it's cold 911 tea at David's Tea. I guess it's like that. Like somehow you drink this stuff and you kind of become superhuman or you become immune against whatever is thrown your way, especially in this day and age. I don't know, I can't really tell you then. But I thought this was a good way to relax a little bit after my little fiasco with French toast. If you remember one of my previous videos, I had done a French toast with some eggnog and some egg, which while tasty was a little bit heavy on the egg action. So I decided to follow the recipe on the back of the carton to see what I could do. Just put some regular eggnog on toast and then fried it up in some cooking spray. Kind of a mistake because it ended up becoming so gooey it was like liquefied pureed French toast. I had to put some maple syrup on it to make it just as edible. It's good on its own, but man, you'd think it would solidify properly enough. And on that note, why don't you just purify French toast, put it in a jar, and feed it to babies? I'm sure they'll like it better than the pureed squash. I don't know, apparently I didn't like that when I was a kid. Whatever, I guess I'm rambling yet again. So, I've already done quite a bit of cooking in the last little while, and I want to go back to my roots. I want to go back to some salty pig action, and I'm going to probably do a classic today too that everyone could probably enjoy. Your famous pulled pork. It's such a versatile dish too. After you're done with it, you can put it in a sandwich, you can top it off with some rice, put it with pasta, you can just eat it like that if you wanted to. There's so much too, and there's so many ways you could prepare it. Like I've seen some basic recipes that say just put pork, barbecue sauce, slow cook it, and then you're good. And then some others which are kind of complicated as well. I'm going to go for a middle of the road one. Nothing too complicated, but nothing like barbecue sauce and that's it. So stay tuned, we're going to start preparing it. But we may not see the end of it, because this is going to cook overnight. and I have to sleep eventually. Okay, got a whole bunch of ingredients to put the sauce together. A lot of basic stuff. Some of them I never would have expected to put in as well. So, my recipe that I found calls for using just putting it all into a slow cooker, but I kind of want to make it in one sitting. Intermission, please. I gotta wash my stuff. Ugh. And we're back. Man, that was a scary couple of minutes. Never had a quarter cup flying around like that before. So yeah, spoiler, it's a quarter cup of brown sugar that you would use in this thing. At least I think that's how much you would use. And as always, make sure it's packed in properly. You'll know you did it well if when you press down on it so hard then it comes out as one big glob of sugar, taking on the shape of the measuring cup that you're using. This is actually pretty versatile as well. It goes wonders on a pad thai sauce too. But you already knew that because you probably already watched that video. And if not, well, you know exactly where to find it. Top right corner, and enjoy. See, the early days of the Cheese Cafe, before I really found my groove. Actually, what am I saying? It's only been 2 months. Man, it feels like it's been forever. So I got around 2 cups over here. Actually, no, a quarter cup. Putting that in, and ready to mix with other stuff. So you probably need like a basic barbecue sauce too for that. And you don't need to get anything too fancy. I just have a Kraft regular BBQ sauce here. At first I wanted to get something that was a bit lighter because I thought it would be kind of heavy. And I was going to buy the calorie-wise version of it because I thought, having less sugar would help. But then I realized that was the catch. If I took the calorie-wise, I would only have maybe 5 kilograms or like 5 carbohydrates less. But on the trade-off that they put 160 milligrams extra of sodium, seems like it's a bit much if you ask me. Like, I think I can handle 5 carbohydrates or 5 grams of carbohydrates. It's not going to break the bank. This is going to call for about 1 cup. And yes, I just want a simple one. I don't want to whip up my own barbecue sauce for just this stuff if I'm going to cook it. Jack Daniel's pulled pork would sound good actually though, so who am I to talk? There. 250 grams. Add that in here too. Wonderful. Lovely. And then the next liquid you're going to need is actually apple cider vinegar. You're going to need around 1/2 of a cup. So let's try to put this in. Oh, nuts. I don't have enough. Oh no, it's not game over now. I actually have my backup. There you go. Prepare for any emergency just in case. Just going to put a little bit extra to put 1/2 a cup. There. And then this could go in. Oop, seems like I have a spectator now. Hey cat, what do you want? Weird thing too is I've been reading about these health people that think apple cider vinegar is supposed to be good for you. Like, take a little bit daily and it's supposed to have cleansing features. Frankly, I can't really imagine that because, I mean, no matter what features you think are in there, you're still drinking vinegar and in copious amounts that cannot be good for you. Actually, what does this stuff taste like on its own? I guess I'll find out quickly. Let's see, just a small sample, just to give it a taste. And I'm doing it in my Madrid glass, just for old time's sake for being in Madrid. Ah! People like this shit? Ugh. And there goes my cat. Okay, I've done barbecue sauce, I've done the apple cider vinegar. So next, what will it be? Aha. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of prepared mustard. Just regular standard issue mustard. Actually, on second thought, let's get the dry stuff out of the way before I mess this up. 1 tablespoon of chili powder is going to be required. Let's see, make it slightly heaping. There, it's going to be going in here. Not a bad flavor. And once I'm done with this, now I can move on to the mustard. I'm gonna need some tea to wash down that stupid vinegar. Like, seriously, how is that healthy for you? Burning your insides just to clear whatever is in there. But luckily, that was just a tiny sample. Apparently, that if you do it for too much and too long, that could be really damaging to you and cause other problems. But live and learn. That's how I look at it. 1 tablespoon of mustard. Next, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. I think I've kind of come to the conclusion that that's the proper way you pronounce it. And it's really good too. Not just in pork, but I found when I've made my burgers in the past too, that this stuff gives a nice flavor no matter what. So it's like a nice, well-rounded piece of the ordeal. There, I got that done. And mixing that up, I think I need a few more ingredients, so I'm just going to take a quick pause, and I'll be right back with more. And we're back. Had to get like a few other ingredients to kind of top this all off. So the next thing they asked for was about half a cup of vegetable broth. No, it's actually not vegetable broth, it's chicken broth. I'm just saying it because I only had vegetable broth still in my fridge that I kind of wanted to use. But I don't think it's going to matter because you're not going to taste the difference between veggie juice and the chicken juice once it's all cooked together. In fact, isn't that kind of enough? Like, you really want to chicken up your pig? Which kind of reminds me of a weird kind of recipe I found once on it was a Food Network show. I think it was that Guy Fieri or whatever it was. And it was something called chicken fried bacon. But there was no trace of chicken whatsoever. They were just breaded up bacon that they were doing. Kind of a weird thing. Good, but probably not best not to do it, too much. As a few final touches, I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons of thyme. There we go. So good amount here, but I'm not out of time. I swear, everything I do, it always seems to end up in a Mario game. Now, they also ask for doing a full-size onion and some garlic cloves. But I don't feel like putting that in right now. So I think I'm going to do the next best thing. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. That should give it a bit of a flavoring too. Then once that's done, I'm just going to mix all together. And then we can get the slow cooker all set up for the pork. Time's overpowering me now. That's a fact of life, isn't it? And now that you got your barbecue sauce out of the way, the next step is to prepare your slow cooker. So you just want to make sure that you don't have it sticking to the bottom of the pan in here. So then what you would do is you would use 1 teaspoon of oil just to coat the bottom of it lightly. You can use vegetable oil, you can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, just something to give it a little bit of a lubrication on it. All right, 1 teaspoon, it's going to be well coated. And then just to give it extra push, I'm going to rub it on the bottom, so that will make sure nothing sticks to it. All right, nice oily fingers over here. And then, of course, is the main part of this dish, because without this, you're not going to have your pulled pork whatsoever. It's your cut of pork. So there's many ways you can put this together. You can use pork loin, you can use pork tenderloin, you can use pork shoulder. The main difference for all of this is how long you're going to have to cook it for. Pork tenderloins are going to be smaller pieces, so you can probably get away from that between 6 to 8 hours. Versus, let's say, pork shoulder, which, if you're close to the bone, that's the toughest meat. So you need at least 10 hours for it to really tenderize. This, you could probably get away with like 8 hours. But I'm going to do it for 10 to tenderize it just as much. Plus also so I could cook really well before I go to bed. Then when I wake up tomorrow and I prepare this stuff, it'll be super nice. Now let's get this out. Oh yeah, I forgot, you need to know the quantity. Around 4 pounds of pork would get the job done for this. Like a 4-pound pork shoulder, 4 pounds of pork loin. It's all good. This is something I bought at Costco actually. It's just a little long piece of pork loin. And then I split this in half just in case I want to do a second pork meal somewhere down the road. So it would serve its purpose. Sometimes you buy more to get it at a discount. I should probably wash my hands before I continue with the next step. And now that the pork is added into here, it's time to add your sauce with the overpowering layer of thyme that's in here too. Just want to get it really well coated in here. Maybe use the same spoon to spread it around. Then give it a good stirring, and then you're off to the races. Nice. Actually, no, people, I'm not censoring you. I'm just getting the remaining sauce from this dish because I don't want it to go to waste. There. And so, now that this beauty's all well and good to go, it's time to get the rest of the steps set up, the cooking. Gotta just plug this in, cover it up, and then set it for a good amount of time. Like I said, this you could probably get away with for about 8 hours, and that would put me like maybe around 8 a.m., but you just give myself a little leeway. I'm gonna do it at 10 o'clock. 10 hours, no. That way by around 8 o'clock, this will be ready. Having trouble with this. There. So it's going to cook for 10 hours. And then once it starts to really stew in its juices and blend in with the sauce, it's going to get a bit of a stringy texture that you just need to take 2 forks and then use it to pull apart all the meats. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Like I said, you can serve it over pasta, you can serve it over rice, you can make good sandwiches out of it. The recipe I found called for put in hamburger buns, except they called for buttered buns for some reason. I don't get that. I thought there's enough fat in here. Why would you need butter too? It's like a Texas recipe apparently. And there you have it. Pulled pork. So simple to make, so basic, but super tasty. And that's one of the lessons that we learned today. The other lesson, apple cider vinegar is nasty. No matter the health benefits they allegedly say there are, it's not worth it. And on that note, see, now this is good for you. None of that other stuff. But yeah, on that note, probably should call it quits for tonight. And I'm sure eventually I'll be showing you the fruit of my labor once it's all done. So, this has been another edition of Wandering Ukie Cheese Cafe. Thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoy what you see. Don't forget to hit the like below. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Leave a request. Tell me something I don't know. And we'll see y'all later. Happy mid-December, everyone.